Trinidad and Tobago has technology, industry, and education. But the country also has alarming rates of murder, crime, and corruption, low productivity, and a low capacity for innovation. Several governments have struggled without success to explain the phenomenon, but it might be as simple as a lack of literacy. The official literacy rate is 98%, but survey evidence and many stories from the school system suggest that the rate is much lower, and this could be the cause of many social problems. Paula Lucie-Smith, the 2012 Anthony and Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence Laureate in Public and Civic Contributions, first noticed something might be wrong when she started teaching high school in the late 1980s.
So I was at St. Augustine's Senior Com for 4 years, and I worked a lot with students who were in the technical classes, because a lot of those students struggled with reading the textbook, reading the questions. They could answer orally, but anything put into written form, copying notes from the board, that was a problem.
Mrs. Lucie-Smith was not alone in noticing this problem, but she was one of the few to do something about it. In 1992, she founded the Adult Literacy Tutors Association, ALTA, an NGO where all the teachers are volunteers.
We have literally created an army of volunteers. If you talk to most other NGOs, you will find that they have staff and they may have some volunteers, but not what ALTA has, volunteers throughout the country in over 60 centers.
ALTA conducted a national literacy survey in 1994. A similar survey was done in 1995 by the University of the West Indies. The surveys provided alarming statistics. 22% of the population was illiterate, and only 45% were newspaper literate. These statistics provided an explanation for the paradoxical state of wealth and social decay.
We recognize that today a number of our students are leaving our schools who are not functionally literate. I have been involved with YTC, and what we found that many of the youths who are there, the vast majority, still need help in remedial reading. When you're not fitting in, and our society recommends, demands almost, that you need to be functionally literate, you're placed at a big disadvantage. And so who are you attracted to? Sometimes they may be lured to the gangs.
The literacy rate in this country is not 98%. We come up with hundreds of people through my working career who got out of universities who can't write proper sentences.
But the problem is not just illiteracy. And indeed, illiteracy might obscure other problems, like learning disabilities.
You have over 100,000 dyslexics in the country. That's more than all the other disabling factors put together.
And there is another dimension of the problem of illiteracy, which has to do with more than schools, but with the whole society. The national environment and culture may in themselves be not conducive to literacy.
Children are disadvantaged because of the lack of language experience in the home or in the daycare center, in the preschools. We're not a society that appreciates the amount of language the children need. You know, if you go in a doctor's office in Trinidad, people sit with their children, and when the children move, they get a little slap. If you go to a doctor's office in England, the parents have a magazine open or a book, and they say, "Look at this dog, it's a brown one. Can you find any other brown dogs? Oh, let's see if we can find any more." And they're going through the pages. And there's this all long sort of description of what they're doing. We don't do that in Trinidad.
By the time a child starts school at 5, the parent has had 4 years to work with the child. And when the children move into school, the teacher then has 1 year. And if nothing has been done, if the language hasn't been encouraged, if the language hasn't been supported, it means the teacher has 6 years of work to do in that first year. People believe that literacy is just reading and writing. But literacy skills extend to listening, speaking, reading, writing, and thinking.
In the midst of all this bad news, ALTA is an oasis of hope. Its teachers are motivated, carefully selected, trained, and constantly retrained.
You don't just go to be trained. You go for an interview. You are advised to, you have to see 8 classes being taught. You have to go week after week and observe. And at the end of that time, you know if you still want to do all that work, or the senior teachers who are there would have an idea of whether you are suitable. only then are you selected for training. And Paula is constantly all over the world, all over the internet, looking for ways in which we can improve it.
This is a huge undertaking. Given the scale of it, what would encourage a person to take it on?
I've never been a great follower. So having been 4 years in the school system, loved teaching, but the school system was killing me. The whole weight of administration and non-productive practices that happens in schools and just how children are treated in the school system. So you go out there and you say you want to teach. This gives you the avenue to teach and create a learning environment that actually supports the learner.
I had a hard childhood, and I didn't go to school, and hospital they stopped me from schooling because I got in an accident. I couldn't read my name when I see. So I used to go in the grocery and I used to stay and cry by myself to say I alone couldn't read and write. And thank God for Paula accepting with open arms. I learned a lot coming to Alta. I feel more confidence in myself and I could learn how to handle myself in reading and writing.
I come from the independence generation, the 60s, where you were inspired to build your nation.
For these reasons, Mrs. Paula Lucie-Smith is the 2012 Anthony and Sabga Caribbean Awards for Excellence Laureate in Public and Civic Contributions.